Hello, this is the WrestleMania review for WrestleMania 36 for those watching years from now. It was a two-night event because, as they were saying, it was too big for one night. Whatever. So I'm going to do something different for this WrestleMania review. Too big for one channel. So I'm going to do this first night review on my original channel, Disador brand. Then I'm gonna do the night 2 review on my Wrestling RIP channel. That's all about me talking about wrestling and all things wrestling. Why I feel that the wrestling business is dying, hence the name of the channel, Wrestling RIP. Go check it out so you don't miss the review of night 2. Watching WrestleMania kickoff show will pay very little attention. I'm just waiting to see what match is going to be in the kickoff show. So we'll see. That was a good little matchup, Cesaro with a new move, I believe, debuting at WrestleMania. I mean, if you're gonna debut a new move, it's good to do it at WrestleMania. It was just short and just enough. If it would have gone too long, it would have been just awkward with no crowd reaction. So I liked it. I like it. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too long. So that was a nice, simple, short little match, especially for the kickoff show. It's good. Okay, night 1, part 1 of WrestleMania starts in 7 minutes and 15 seconds before it starts. I just wanted to say I'm only watching because I'm interested to see how it looks at the Performance Center and the other locations and how it looks without a crowd. So yeah, most matches, well, actually none of the matches I really care about. The boneyard match, I want to see that just because I'm interested in knowing what a boneyard match is. I'm thinking it could be just a graveyard match that was shot and filmed in the cemetery somewhere, or I don't know, maybe it's in the ring full of bones. Who really knows? They haven't explained what it is, but because of that stipulation, I'm interested to see what it is, how it is, and where it is, but not really caring who wins or loses. And the same thing with the Firefly Funhouse gimmick match. I want to see what it is, where it is. Is it in the ring, decorated off, Funhouse style all over the arena, or is it somewhere in an actual house that's decorated to look like the Funhouse? Who really knows, really? So because of those things, I'm interested. Not really the match, but I'm interested in the gimmick of the match to see how it is, and that's why I'm watching, really. So if a match starts that I don't care about, I'm just gonna go to the kitchen, get some snacks, be right there with my daughter and my wife, and maybe come and take a peek every now and then. So we'll see how I work this out. What a slow start for WrestleMania. That video package intro was a little too lengthy and long for me. And then after that, okay, I know you can't do pyro, so I didn't mind the lasers. At least it was something presentation wise. But then too much blabbing by what's his name? By Rob Gronkowski, whatever, and Mojo Rawley, and then that slowed things down for me. And then this whatever match that with little to no build up to start WrestleMania, the women's tag team titles to start night one of WrestleMania, the least exciting match. Why would you start night one of WrestleMania with this match? Not something that with more build to it. I'm not interested. I'll go grab a tea and some chips or something. F this. Then after that, I was getting technical difficulties. The network kept freezing, Chromecasting through the TV. It kept freezing and freezing. I didn't want to deal with it. So then I just watched it on my phone. So Elias versus King Corbin. I saw the start of it and I saw the finish of it. And Elias going over. Okay, he needed it more than King Corbin. But does this bring King Corbin down another notch? I don't think it matters. Because as I stated in a video before, that regardless of who went over, whether it was Elias or King Corbin, I think regardless if Elias won or lost or King Corbin won or lost, it was going to go nowhere. And you can kind of tell that by the finish of the matchup. Just a roll up, and it's, come on, Elias deserves a more legitimate victory. I really don't have that much of an issue with the finish, but I would have much rather see Elias win the match because he took out King Corbin with his finisher, the drift away, or something more of a moment for Elias. And then he just walks out playing with the guitar. That's what I wanted to see. Elias beats Corbin, and then Corbin stays down, and Elias walks out playing his guitar. That would have been a better moment than just Elias rolls him up 1, 2, 3, and he pretty much runs off. Because it was not something that left Corbin laying. Like Corbin was still fine after the match because it was just a roll up. Obviously, this program between Elias and Corbin is due to continue based on that finish. I had no problems with that matchup. Now let's go over to the women's for the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. Again, I did not care to see this matchup, so I just skipped it. I started watching one of my shows that I watch on Netflix. By the time that 25-minute program was over on Netflix, I returned to the network, and that match had already just concluded a second or two ago. And so I didn't care to see Becky Lynch. So I'm not going to review something I don't give a shit about. Okay? So then it went to Sami Zayn defending the Intercontinental title against Daniel Bryan. I know a lot of complaints about Sami Zayn not working in ring style with Daniel Bryan. I have no complaints other than I would have wanted to see a little more from Sami Zayn myself, but not in the style you're thinking. Not, let them work a good matchup. No, because that would mean less selling as always. No, I would have wanted to see Sami Zayn get more offense, maybe work a leg or an arm of Daniel Bryan. And but I thought the finish made sense for the character. He's a heel. He pretty much got the win from a distraction. And, people want to see a clean finish from Sami Zayn, but that wouldn't have make sense. Sami Zayn needs to get the heat with this dirty finish where Bryan was distracted, allowing Sami to hit the finisher for the victory. Perhaps not the best finish in WrestleMania history, but it wasn't bad. There's nothing bad for me to complain about this match. Really, rather, the only thing I had, Brian, why are you doing high spots from the ring, the dive all to the middle rope onto the barricade on Sami's end? There's no crowd to react to that. Stop doing these dive moves, guys. Speaking of which, we move on to the ladder match for the tag team titles. John Morrison representing his team, Jimmy Uso representing the Usos, and Kofi Kingston representing the New Day. Okay, for the tag team titles of SmackDown. Before I talk about the finish, I'm going to talk about how awkward this match was. I expected it to be awkward with the no selling of all these high moves from the ladder and all these spots that without a crowd reaction, it's just silly to watch. You can see in this match how it all looked ridiculous. It looks twice as phony with the no selling in this ladder match when there's no crowd. So, thanks to the coronavirus, there cannot be an audience at WrestleMania. Therefore, it all looks twice or triple times, quadruple times more phony than it would have had. Look, this was just awkward to see, and I did not. There's a part of the match where I stopped paying attention, but I did pay attention towards the end, and I saw the finish, and I really had no problem with the finish. I thought it was a non-traditional finish, so I have no issues with that. Again, the entire match felt awkward to me because of the no selling. You think because there's no crowd to give those reactions, they would sell more from these high spots, but no, they weren't selling hurt or anything like that. So that make it twice and triple times more ridiculous to see when there's no crowd to react. Then they went to Kevin Owens against Seth Rollins. I'm not gonna lie, I only saw about the first 3 to 4 minutes of this. Then I started to order pizza online. That because of internet errors and stuff, that took a while. And by the time I done ordering my pizza online, this match was over. Based on my research, it ended beat a disqualification, and then Kevin Owens restarted the match, and then it was no DQ. I don't understand this. How does this happen? This is all. I hate when they do this. What power, what authority does Kevin Owens have to restart a match and make it no DQ? Well, I guess when there's no general manager on your show, you can do whatever you want, right? But I hate it because what's the point of having the rules? And they did this in LWA when I was working there, and this so-called independent promotion. They did this a lot. These habits here in local promotions here in town. They did this in every local promotion in town, and I always complain about it backstage. A traditional match ends with a disqualification. Then what's the point of finishing a match with disqualification? You're just gonna restart it and do it. Okay, I hate that. I hate that the rules are there, and if the rule is broken and it's disqualified, it's done. It's over. Move on. You should have just started from the get-go, from the start of this match, a no DQ. It should have just started as a no DQ. Instead, you made the rules mean nothing. Who cares if he got disqualified? Who cares if anyone gets disqualified? You can just restart the match under no DQ, making the rules. You buried the rules by doing that. You buried the rules by doing that. Let's just say that. And again, Kevin Owens goes over against Rollins. I did not care. I did not care to go back and see this match, especially knowing that it was restarted after the DQ, which buries the rules. Then we got Braun Strowman, who replaced Roman Reigns in this title match against Goldberg for the Universal Championship. It's the Universal Championship, right? It's not the WWE title. Yeah, it's the Universal, I believe. It's for the Universal title of the world. Braun Strowman, we all knew who he was going over because Goldberg, it's only here until WrestleMania. And it could have been anyone against Goldberg, anyone against Goldberg, they were going to win the title. Goldberg's going home after WrestleMania. So, Braun Strowman, okay, you went over, you finally won that title, but we all knew that it was just because you're replacing Roman and they had no choice at that matter. But Braun Strowman hasn't been over since 2017. Who gives a shit? You're about 3 years too late putting the strap on this talent. Okay, he means nothing anymore. He's 3 years too late to be a world champion. 3 years too late. And the entire match looked phony baloney. Worse without crowd. Worse. You do a finisher on me, I kick out 3 or 4 times, or your finisher, now you're going to do the finisher on me 3-4 times, and then you go over. Come on. Look, the phoniest match for a world title that I have ever seen. It was just horrible. No. Then, this is what saved the night. This is what saved night 1 for WrestleMania. The Boneyard match. Undertaker going up against AJ Styles. A cinematic looking match. The only issue I have with this is that it was called a Boneyard, because bones were not involved in any shape or form. But that's the only issue I really had with this matchup. In some aspect, it wasn't really a match because there were no rules explained before we went to the footage. There was no referee involved. It wasn't really a match. It was just a fight between Undertaker and AJ Styles, and what I would have rather called a barnyard, because there seemed to have been a barnyard. There was no bones involved. So maybe tweak the name of the matchup would have been better. But other than that, I have no complaints. It was cinematic looking. A lot of great shots on this pre-tape match. Boneyard match, Undertaker and AJ Styles. I have no complaints other than the name of the matchup. It was good to see. It looked realistic fight between Undertaker and AJ Styles, and I understand why Undertaker was more of himself and less of the Undertaker character gimmick, because it made sense for the personal storyline they were trying to tell of AJ talking about Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool. It was more personal, so it makes sense that Undertaker was there more like himself and less like the gimmick. But there were some aspects of this that I did not like. That, like the drawings. Why were they with Gallows, Anderson, and AJ? Are they members of the club disguised, as druids? Why are they there against The Undertaker? Why did they suddenly turn on The Undertaker? I don't know. I think that moment for me was a little less realistic and did not make sense. It didn't have to be there. But other than that, this entire cinematic looking matchup was great. I put it over more than anything on both nights of WrestleMania, and I enjoyed the Boneyard match. Again, the only issue is the name of the match himself. Probably should have been something more like Graveyard Match or Buried Yard Match or something. Wasn't really a matchup, it's just AJ really wanted to bury Undertaker, and Undertaker wanted to return the favor. And at the end, Undertaker went over. AJ Styles gets buried. But now my issue is what happens with AJ. He can't just appear out of nowhere on Raw, in a couple of weeks and not explain how he got out of the grave. Is he dead? What's gonna happen with AJ? Is he gonna be now? Does AJ come out of WrestleMania having the Undertaker gimmick? Is it a dead man AJ Styles because he's the one buried? I want to know. You cannot just ignore it for a couple of weeks, not have AJ on TV, and then when he returns out of the blue, it's like nothing happened. It's like he was never buried, but it's probably gonna be that way. So that's it for my review of night 1 for WrestleMania 36. And go to my other channel, Wrestling RIP, for the night 2 of WrestleMania 36 review. And then we'll see you there.